Welcome to BioWorld. Today's topic is excretion. Various metabolic reactions in the living being generate various waste materials. Since they are harmful to the system, they need to be eliminated. This is done by excretion. The process of the removal of waste materials from the living being is called excretion. Now let us see excretion in plants, unicellular organism and in human being one by one. Various excretory products in plant are carbon dioxide, the byproduct of respiration, and oxygen, the byproduct of photosynthesis, and water in the form of water vapor, the byproduct of both respiration and photosynthesis, and fourth one, nitrogenous waste from various metabolic activities. Here the excretion of gaseous waste in plant is done through the stomatal pores. So carbon dioxide, water and oxygen, they are excreted through the stomata. Next is nitrogenous waste materials. They are produced in the plant, are stored in different parts of the plant in different forms. For example, latex in the rubber plant. Latex is a waste product. It is stored in the bark, and gum stored in the bark of acacia plant is also a waste product. Have you heard of eucalyptus oil? This eucalyptus oil is also a waste product produced by eucalyptus plant and is stored in its leaves. Eventually, plants shed off these parts. Sometimes plants even excrete some waste products into the surrounding soil. This is all about the excretion in plants. This excretion in unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, etc. Since they do not have any specialized structure for excretion, the removal of waste materials from the body is done by the process of diffusion through the body surface. The next one is excretion in human being. We have many excretory organs in our body. They are skin, lungs, liver, large intestine, and a pair of kidneys. Excretion in skin occurs through sweating, which results in the elimination of excess water and a small amount of salt, uric acid and urea. It is through the process of sweating. Then next excretory organs are lungs. Lungs excrete out excess carbon dioxide through the process of exhalation. The third one, liver. Liver breaks down waste materials and even the toxins in our blood, and the byproducts are expelled out into the bile and then into the large intestine, and eventually they are excreted out of the body. So the liver, the excretion is done through bile. Next is large intestine. Large intestine excretes out the unabsorbed food materials from our body during the process of digestion. That is done by egestion. And lastly, kidneys. Kidneys are the main organs of excretion. Kidneys filter the blood and excretes all the waste materials into the urine. Now let us see kidneys. How do they look and where are they located in our body? These kidneys are bean-shaped structures. They are situated on either side of our vertebral column in the abdominal cavity. And then you can see our right kidney sits a bit lower than the left kidney. Why? It is due to the size and location of liver. Liver is situated just above our right kidney. Then, which are the other associated organs near the kidneys? These are two kidneys, and other organs are a pair of ureters and a urinary bladder, and this urinary bladder opens out through urethra. These ureters bring urine from the kidneys to the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder stores urine. When it is filled with urine, it is removed from the body through urethra. Then each kidney consists of millions of filtering units inside. These filtering units are called nephrons. Nephron is the structural and functional unit of a kidney. Each of these nephrons take part in the process of filtration, the filtration of the blood. Each nephron has a cup-like head portion and a long tubule. Here, this is a section of the kidney showing different parts. The outer, this dotted region is basically the cortex of the kidney. Middle inner region, this part is medulla. In the medullary region, we can see many pyramidal structures. Many pyramidal structures are present in the medullary region. The head of the nephron are projected into this cortical region. The heads are projected into the cortical region of the kidney, and the tubule of the nephrons open into this medullary region. Now we will see the structure of a nephron in detail. This is a nephron. It has a cup-like head region called Bowman's capsule and a highly coiled convoluted tubule. This tubule is convoluted tubule, and this convoluted tubule has three distinct areas. This region, the anterior region of the convoluted tubule, that is in proximity with the Bowman's capsule. So this area is called proximal convoluted tubule or PCT. And this posterior end of the tubule, that is away from the Bowman's capsule, this region is called distal convoluted tubule or DCT. In between the DCT and PCT, we can see a U-shaped structure. It is known as Henle's loop. Then DCT opens into the collecting duct. You can see the ends of many DCTs here. Each collecting duct opens into the region of the pyramid. You can see the opening of many collecting ducts here. Many collecting ducts open into the anterior end of the ureter. Look here, this is the renal artery. Renal artery. One branch of this renal artery enters into the Bowman's capsule and it branches into a network of capillaries. This network of capillaries is called glomerulus. And these capillaries again emerge out to form a highly branched structure, highly branched network of blood capillaries, and they wrap around the tubule. The blood enters into the Bowman's capsule in high pressure, so that all these materials, both the useful materials as well as the waste materials, get filtered into the Bowman's capsule. The fluid we get here in the Bowman's capsule is called the filtrate. That filtrate contains useful substances like amino acids, glucose, and harmful substances like urea, uric acid, and some excess amount of salt. These useful substances should be absorbed back into the system. That reabsorption is done in the convoluted tubule. We have to eliminate the waste materials like urea, uric acid, excess salt, and water from our body. How this process takes place? Let us see that. The filtrate collected here in the Bowman's capsules moves to the PCT. PCT absorbs most of the useful substances through its inner wall. Then the filtrate moves slowly down into the Henle's loop and again into the DCT. DCT absorbs water in the filtrate. Most of the water is absorbed in the DCT. Now let us see how these useful substances reabsorbed in the tubule get itself back into the bloodstream. It is done by the network of capillaries. Since this network of capillaries wrap around or coiled around the tubule, it keeps on absorbing the useful substances from the wall of the convoluted tubule and puts it back into the bloodstream. The remaining filtrate now moves out of the DCT. We can call that filtrate as urine, because that filtrate contains only unwanted substances like urea, uric acid, and some amount of salt and very less amount of water. Urine moves into the collecting duct. You can see many such collecting ducts in the region of medulla. These are the ends of the collecting ducts. All these collecting ducts open into the ureter, and urine moves down into the urinary bladder through these ureters. Urinary bladder acts as a storage organ. In its fully distended form, it can store 500 ml of urine. You can see a sort of sphincter muscle in the region of urethra here. These sphincter muscles control the opening and closing of the urethra. When the urinary bladder is sufficiently filled with urine, urine is thrown out of the urinary bladder through the urethra. This is how our excretory system works. You might have heard of dialysis. It is related with kidney failure. What is kidney failure? Our kidneys fail to function, or kidneys lose the capacity to filter and remove waste materials from our body. It can be due to some infection in the kidney or block in the ureters or tubules. If our kidneys stop working, urea starts getting accumulated in our body. This urea can be removed with the help of dialysis. Dialysis is done with dialysis machine. It mimics the function of our kidney. Look here, it is a dialysis machine. It has a chamber with many tubules present inside. These are the tubules. These tubules filter the blood and remove waste materials from the blood. These tubules are immersed in a fluid. This fluid is called dialysate. Then let us see what is the procedure of dialysis. How does dialysis occur? Blood from the patient's body is transferred into the dialysis machine. So blood is then passed into the tubule. This tubule is immersed in a fluid called dialysate. This dialysate resembles the fluid in our kidney. We have millions of nephrons in our kidney. These nephrons are immersed in the interstitial fluid. The composition of the interstitial fluid and the fluid here are both the same. The blood flowing through the various tubules gets an atmosphere similar to the one in our body, so that all the waste materials like urea, uric acid and excess salt can be filtered out into the dialysate. Ultimately, the purified blood is returned back into the patient's body. That blood contains all the vital substances like glucose, amino acids and excess water. Dialysis should be performed thrice a week to purify the blood. This is how the artificial kidney or the dialysis machine works. This is all about our excretory system. Hope it is clear for everyone. Bye till we meet with our next video.